Three things I wish I had known in my 20s. So in this video, I'm going to share some insights that I've gained that would have made my life in my 20s and early 30s so much easier. And that's why I want to share it with you so that in case you're in your 20s or even younger, that you can learn from this and that you can implement it in your own life to make it way more easy for you. And if you are already at a point later on in life, then you can still implement it because I always say it's never too early, but it's also never too late. Hi, my name is Martin, and I help people to redefine their life so that they can live with more fulfillment and really live a self-led life with a lot of purpose. All right, number one, chill the fuck out. And what I mean with that is let go. In my own experience, like when it actually started like early on in my life already, I've had this kind of difficulty to let go. And mostly it showed up in romantic relationships or even friendships where when someone rejected me or left me, that I was chasing, I was clinging on to them, I was trying to prove my worth. And that is like probably the biggest thing out of the whole experience that I've learned is that I defined my worth by how other people treated me. And that is the worst thing I could have done because worth is not connected to how people see me or what people think of me, but it's how I see myself. It's really how I treat myself, how I talk to myself, how I go about things, like how I set boundaries, all those kind of things. And not having learned that previously, or let's say I knew about the concept, but I talked myself out of it. And I always found a reason why to hang on and why to continue chasing people and also things like dreams, but like not my own dreams, dreams that someone else kind of put on me in a way where like I've been an actor for a while and there's certain things in acting that people want to achieve and I'm like I had certain goals, but I kind of lost touch with myself. That is going to go into number two, but I'm still not there quite yet. So when it's about like letting go, recently I went through quite a difficult situation. I like in a relationship, I was left by someone I thought I might spend the rest of my life with. And it's been very, very difficult for me to let go because I haven't really practiced it in the past and I've not really done it in the past. So now I'm going through a process and I've been through that process now for a few months where I really started to understand what letting go means. And one of the metaphors that I've come across quite often is like if you have like a cork and you put it under water, as long as you keep it there, it will never be able to float. And floating in that sense, what it means to be free, to really ride the waves of life, and be free. As long as you keep it underwater, as long as you keep holding on to it, it will be underwater. The only thing that makes it be free is if you let go. And letting go is basically just a choice, but that choice is connected to so many subconscious things, experiences, habits, the thought patterns that we have, the ideas that we have, or the meaning we give to things. And reframing that, like those kind of meanings, is one of the key things in order to let go. Because we tend to put things or people on a pedestal. And once we do that, then we dim our own light. Then our own, like the focus on ourselves becomes very diminished, kind of. And letting go is like the one of the prerequisites of letting go is that we find and connect with our true and inner self. All right, that brings me to number 2 of the 3 things I wish I had learned earlier on in my life before turning 30, and that is learn to love yourself. Learn to love yourself. Now, self-love is not what you might think it is. For a very long time, I always thought self-love is a feeling, like the feeling of love, but towards myself, looking in the mirror and being like, oh my God, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you can do this, I love you. But not too long ago, I came across a video by Matthew Hussey, and he said, loving yourself is not about that feeling. Loving yourself does not necessarily mean you like yourself. But what it means is that you take care of yourself, that you take care of your own self the way you would do with someone that you truly love. And that way you can learn step by step to love yourself, to like yourself, to look in the mirror and say, I'm here with you and I wouldn't change it for anybody else. And loving yourself, if you look at it from that perspective, then it's really about how do you talk to yourself about and really become aware of yourself, not just in specific situations or in like the everyday kind of life. You might forget about it. There might be so many things going on that you don't realize how you're talking to yourself about. It's also about like how you wake up in the morning. How do you talk to yourself about in the morning? How do you talk to yourself or about yourself in the evening? Reflect on that every single day. Look at yourself and see, or not look at yourself, but look at how you treated yourself throughout the day. How did you talk to yourself? How did you show up for yourself with nutrition, with exercising, with any kind of self-love practices like meditation, yoga, whatever it may be for you? But look at yourself and ask yourself, what did I do and how did I show up for myself? Was it in a loving way, or was it more in a criticizing way, in a more self-destructive way? And it took me a long time to really, first of all, look in the mirror and say, you look good. And I'm getting to that point. Like I still have days where I look in the mirror and be like, Jesus, like you didn't sleep well, or like negative kind of things that I'm telling myself. And what I'm doing in that moment is if I catch myself saying that to myself, I stop, I look in the mirror and I say, I'm going to look at one thing that I like about myself right now. And I'm going to keep looking until I find something. Very often it's my eyes. I love my eyes. And the second part of it is like the self-loving way, where it's like, how do I show up for myself? Am I taking good care of myself? Am I keeping my word to myself? If I say I'm going to do something, am I actually doing it, or am I procrastinating it? Am I saying like, oh, I'm going to do it later, or I'm going to do it when I feel better? Like this video right now, I've been planning on doing that for a very long time. And I always came up with very good examples or very good reasons why it's not the good or the perfect time right now. There's always something that came up that prevented me. I prevented myself from doing it. I manipulated myself. And the problem with that is that very often then I look back and I judge myself like, oh, if only I had done that earlier, I would be in a different place right now. Why didn't you do that? Like, there's so much criticism that pop up when I don't show up for myself the way I want to, and then the way that also shows me that I give myself worth. I cannot expect other people to treat me in a respectful way. I can't expect others to see my worth if I don't see it for myself, if I don't show up for myself in a way that reflects self-worth, self-love, and then step by step self-liking. And that also is, of course, a process. It takes a lot of reflection, a lot of self-development, becoming aware of certain patterns, of certain things that you're doing. So if I had known better, or if I had known what I know now in my early 20s, what I would have done is I would have started working with a coach, or I would have seen a therapist on a regular basis, dived into more self-development books. There's so many free things online nowadays as well, where we can learn about ourselves, about life, about like so many different things. And I wish I had done that earlier, because learning about yourself is really the stepping stone to creating a life that you truly want, to creating that life that you're proud of, that you enjoy, that is filled with purpose and adventure and whatever you want. But in order to create that, you have to understand yourself. You have to understand how you function. And if you don't do that, then you will be very likely dependent on the outside circumstances, on what other people do, what other people give you, and whatever happens in the outside reality, instead of looking within and being like, how can I show up to create exactly the reality I want to? And a big thing is not to give up. If you give up, like that's like there's a definition of failure that I always use, like also when I work with my clients, and we talk about failure, like if someone is applying for a job or is dating someone and it doesn't work out. Failure is, in my kind of book of life, once you give up. Because once you give up, you are taking that opportunity away from yourself to make something out of it. Then you're really depending on someone else or something else for your dreams or for your goals to become a reality. And therefore, it's so important to tune into yourself, to become aware of who you are and who you want to be. You don't have to be perfect. Don't get me wrong. Like, perfectionism is the last thing I'm talking about here. It's really about taking that action to discover who you truly are, and therefore you'll be able to follow your purpose and really be free and abundant, and like everything that you dream of, it can become reality, but you need to put in the work on yourself. All right, number 3, just do it. Just do it. And what I'm talking about here is the things that you want to do that will most likely get you towards the dream that you have, or the goals that you have, are the things that you're probably not doing, or you do it sometimes. I am not an exception. I mentioned it earlier with the video. I postponed it so many times. I procrastinated on it, even though I love talking to people. I love creating videos and inspire people and just sharing myself with the world. I love that. Yet I haven't really done it. Why? Who knows? Well, I know. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, all those kind of fears that pop in my head. But also fear of success. What if I succeed and certain people in my life don't like it? Will I lose them? So it's also kind of fear of rejection, but fear of rejection from other people in regards to what I'm creating. But that brings me back to number 1. Chill the fuck out. Let it go. If people do not resonate with the amazing person that you are and that you are creating, then those people are not meant to be in your life. There's nothing wrong with it. Everybody has a choice to be in your life or not be in your life, but you can't force it. Once you force it, what's the point? You know, it's not fun. It's not, there's no positivity coming from it if you're forcing something. And with just doing it, I don't mean you have to do everything at once and everything all the time. What I mean by that is, like, for example, a few years ago, I bought a piano. It's standing right over there, and it's basically decoration. I played a little bit in the beginning, and I loved it. It was so much fun. And I stopped. I don't remember exactly why I stopped, but then it just became part of my room, and I started to forget why I bought it. When it comes to implementing a new habit, what I did is I sat down at the piano and I started playing for like an hour, 2 hours, whatever. But then when I didn't have that much time, I didn't do it. So now I do remember why I stopped, because I told myself I didn't have time. But that is an illusion, because I can make the time if it's important to me. If I had played, because I have had it for 5 years, if every day I would have played 15 minutes a day, I don't even know where I could be right now. I mean, it's not like something I want to do professionally, but for fun. I could probably play, I don't know how many songs. But here again, it's very likely, because I've done it very often, I look back and be like, oh, why didn't you do it? Like, you bought it and you spent money on it and then you're not using it. Like, then I go into like, oh, you're helping other people implementing new habits, but you're not doing it for yourself. Then imposter syndrome kicks in, you know? So it's a lot of self-criticism again. That's why those three things are so important that I'm sharing with you, because they're all interconnected. Because if I don't do certain things that I planned or intended, like with the playing the piano, then I can go back to step two and be like, okay, or not step two, but the second step that I shared with you, where it's like, okay, how am I talking to myself right now? How am I showing up for myself? Also, connecting to what I truly want. I love music. I love playing music. I played the drums for 12 years or longer. And it's just so much fun, because all the emotions that come up or that you can release, and I just enjoy it. And one thing I realized through that is that I don't allow myself a lot of times to experience the joy, the fun, the excitement, the adventure. And I made a commitment to myself to stop that shit, because it is so important to let myself allow the positive feelings, the good feelings, even if it's not for a specific purpose. Because a long time I've learned new habits for the purpose of advancing in my business, to become a better actor, and all those things. Every time I learn something new, in the back of my mind, and very much in the front of my mind, I thought about what advantage will I have in those areas, instead of just doing it for the fun, doing it because I enjoy it, because I love it. So I would encourage you that if there's something that you have not done or not started, or started but then stopped, that you know that is incredibly important for you, and it would really mean a lot to you and to your self-worth, like to show yourself like, hey, I'm worthy of taking time for myself and spending it doing something I really like, then I would encourage you to start it. If it's just a couple minutes a day, just a couple minutes a day, but it can give so much positive energy, and it would, like, long term, if you think about like the next few months or even years, how that would positively impact you and your life. All right, I'm going to recap. Number one is chill the fuck out and let go. Number two is learn to love yourself and the difference between loving yourself and liking yourself. And number three, just do it. Go for it. Follow your dreams, follow your passions. Don't sit on your potential. Express your potential. Express your true self. Express yourself authentically and vulnerably. I'm going to talk about vulnerability in a different video. So, yeah, that would be too much for this video today. But it's like if you implement those three things in your life, I promise you there will be significant change happening. All right, if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe. It's a new channel. It would mean the world to me, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. All right, have a great day. Thank you, and big hug.